Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another session of the Trial of Hearts. It feels kinda crazy to be here since we just streamed on Friday, but here we are. Here we are. Also, welcome, Sid the Shrimpy. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoy the session. But yeah, I'm Maris Oram. I'm your DM. I'm gonna be running this session, and we'll go ahead and kick things off with a round of player introductions. Go ahead, Sif, and start us off.
Hey, it's me, Sif underscore VTuber, right where it says on the tin. I'm a living suit of armor, I do art, I play games. I'm hosting Community Art Night this Friday. If y'all want to pull up, great. If not, no worries. Just come by and, cheer on the people doing art and stuff. Aside from that, nothing really else special to talk about. I'm here to roleplay as Gwyn, Bird Shifter Man. I don't know. I'm here to woo Essie and get immortality. I know what's sus about that. I don't know what makes him evil. But yeah, that's me.
You literally just advertised to your Discord playing gay evil D&D bird boy.
Because everyone hears that I use Griffith and Luis as inspo, and they just assume I'm evil, and I'm like, all right, forget my layers, forget the fact that I'm an onion.
No, nothing suspicious at all. We love our pretty bird boy. Thank you, Siv. And next we have Lily.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lily. I'm an aspiring artist that draws a lot of D&D stuff, including my lovely character for this campaign, Topaz. Just dropped some new art of Topaz and Lapis earlier today, which I'm very happy with. But yeah, I also run my own D&D campaign, Mistwalker Spectrum of Eternity. There are currently 5 episodes up on YouTube. Next episode is being recorded this weekend. So excited to continue with that. But yeah, as I am here, I am Topaz, the gender fluid fashion designer, any old pronouns, and I am very excited to be here and be queer as always. So hope y'all enjoy.
Yeah, thank you, Lily. Definitely go check out Mistwalkers. I have a very unbiased opinion about it, considering I'm a player, but seriously, it's rad as heck. Please go watch it. And moving on, we've got Vesper.
Hello, my name is Vesper. I'm a bat, witch, VTuber, everything, kinda. I do variety content. I am a slice of comfy chaos wrapped in Whimsigoth. And tonight I am playing Oleander, our favorite disaster deer. But don't worry, he has meds now, or at least friends.
Yeah, friendship solves everything, right guys? Right guys? I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be fine now that he has friends. Thank you, Vesper. And last but never least, we have Ares.
Hello, I'm ArestheHarpy. I do streams of art and games and stuff, and I am playing Luella, the Fae Auditor that somehow introducing her as such still surprises people that she's not a very good person.
She's just a politician. What's wrong with that? Nothing could go wrong.
Politicians never hurt anybody.
No, never. Never. Side eyes. Thank you, everyone. As per the usual, we are going to start with a quick session recap of what happened last time on the Trial of Hearts. So, after Essie revealed to Topaz the missing king and queen, he asked for their assistance in investigating the matter, requesting Topaz to test Oleander's trustworthiness to see if he can be brought into his confidence regarding the presumed disappearance of Cornelius and Isolde. Returning to their room, Topaz also discovered that her sister Lapis seems to have become increasingly intimate with one Miss Cordelia Lockhart, who is seen rushing out of the siblings' shared room. The following day, our players wrote their usual letters, but most notably, Oleander received words of caution from his mentors, as well as a revelation from his sister Lycoris regarding Damus's potions. Within the tincture were barely traceable flecks of stardust. Oleander took the time to add a false bottom to his satchel, a convenient hiding place for his crystal dagger, and he visited Damus first thing in the morning and gifted him the alchemy kit sent by Lycoris. To Damus's dismay, Oleander revealed Lycoris' discovery, though Oleander made the decision to trust Damus and didn't press the matter further. Gwyn made a speech at breakfast addressing the rumors about him, making a public showing of hand-delivering a letter to Essie, particularly overshadowing the princelings Alto and Adora. And as the day continued, Luella and Essie talked over tea in the gardens, where he admitted his dislike for the whole charade that is the trials, while simultaneously enjoying the attention that it brings. He also admitted an interest in a few contenders, Luella included, and the two got to know each other a little better, and each commended the other on their ability to play the game of polite society, and parted on friendly terms. Oleander, trying to find some peace in the estate's prayer room, was confronted by Gwyn, who was determined to find out more of the truth of Oleander's identity and his reasons for being at the trials. Oleander revealed his family connections to the Thieves' Guild, as well as the existence of an artifact that could threaten the reign of the royal family. When asked about his own intentions, Gwyn confessed that his ambitions were as high as the heavens themselves, wanting to create what he considers a perfect world. Topaz invited Oleander for a private talk in the observatory, wanting to know more about him, considering he seems quite content to sequester himself in the library with Damus, and no one knows how to read him. After some convincing, Oleander revealed the hidden compartment in his bag and the crystal dagger within. In return, Topaz had Oleander gaze through the telescope so he could observe the empty space himself. The two speculated their theories as to how the former king and queen could be missing, and Oleander wondered if the crystal dagger belonged to one King Marius. At Dame Leonora's invitation, the players and their fellow contestants were permitted to spend the afternoon in her private bathhouse. While enjoying the baths, saunas, and massage tables, our players split up to talk to various individuals. Luella sparred words with Adora, who revealed her own intentions with the star, planning to outlive her enemies in the hopes of a better future. Oleander and Parthenia came to an understanding that though they are academic rivals, she considers him to be an equal and would be happy to assist him in any research endeavor should he ever ask. Topaz had a friendly conversation with Prince Alto, leaving her wondering if his prickly demeanor is just a facade. While the others were enjoying themselves in the bathhouse, Gwyn enjoyed a moment's isolation in Dame Leonora's orchards, reclining in a tree and helping himself to her peaches, before Essie approached him, joining him atop the boughs. The two finally took the moment to get to know one another, having a brutally honest discussion about their dreams, each quietly revealing their mutual ruthlessness. Essie subtly warns Gwyn that should their paths intertwine, they might devour one another in their ambitions, but left their meeting intrigued by the former mercenary nonetheless. And so, we return to the same day, as there were a few things left undone. First and foremost, Luella. You wanted to speak with one Damus. How do you set the scene?
Luella starts. She leaves the bathhouse early, before everyone else does. Prepares herself, goes to Damus's room. And I would assume at least the servants have been notified of Luella investigating things. I would hope. And so she enters Damus's room, sets it up with a servant to make sure that they get to have a talk uninterrupted.
Yes.
She sits there, smoking her pipe and waiting.
Excellent. Yes, you stage this scene of mystery and intrigue, waiting for Damus to return to his room. And he does so. He returns to his room that evening, not any the wiser. Definitely not expecting to have gained anyone's attention, really. So he does not have any sort of sneaking suspicion that anyone could possibly be in his room as he walks in through the door, shrugs off his coat, tosses it on the bed, and it's only when he gets a whiff of your pipe smoke that he jolts and turns towards you, sees you in his chair, and just, I think you're in the wrong room.
I assure you, I am not.
You want to talk to me, then?
More or less. If you would be so kind, please sit.
Certainly. Okay. And he'll slowly make his way over to the chair opposite of you and sets himself down. Fiddles with his hands in his laps, clearly nervous. Usually people wait for invitations to come into someone's room.
Indeed they do, and yet... I will say, Damus, we have much to talk about. She takes a long drag, blows out the smoke that turns into this writhing sea serpent that circles Damus before it fades off.
Well, Miss Stalwix, is it? What can I do for you?
You can start by telling me, for what reason are you here, Damus?
Oh, I was sent here, by my master, Cassian. You know, the sage.
I've heard the name. Do enlighten me as to who they are.
Well, surely you've heard of him. He's highly renowned for his skills in the alchemical arts, and seeing as that is where my particular expertise lies as well, he took me on as a apprentice.
And I wonder, are you more than an apprentice to this Cassian?
I don't understand.
Some interesting rumor has reached my ear. Something about your guardian, we'll say, that has been kept in secret. Tell me, Damus, who was it that raised you?
Who raised me? Well, I lived with my parents for a time, but they discovered that I was quite skilled at a young age, and I garnered the attention of my master, Cassian, and he took me under his wing.
Is that all?
Yes.
Strange. Is it normal for alchemists to sign over guardianship for an apprentice?
Wouldn't know anything about that. I just know that I've been with my master much longer than I ever did my own family.
You wouldn't know about that. Luella pulls out a copy of the transferal of guardianship. Strange, then. Usually, someone whose guardianship is being transferred is at least aware of the situation.
He takes that paper and his eyes sort of scan it and just... I mean, I always knew that they gave me up. I didn't realize it was so official.
They gave up a promising alchemical apprentice. I can only wonder as to why. I would think that to have someone who is apprenticed to a great sage of one of the more prestigious of the arts, sciences, would be a boon to any family.
Yes, well, one would presume, I suppose. But it seems they didn't have much interest in me.
And why is that, Damus?
I couldn't tell you. I was quite young when Cassian took me in.
Do you not remember, or are you not wanting to admit what happened?
He kind of looks frustrated at this, and he hands the paper back to you. Miss Stalwix, I don't know what you're getting at. I was a child, you understand? I didn't know what was happening. All I knew was my parents didn't want me anymore. But there was someone who did.
Damus, when did you start practicing your particular art of magic?
I was 10 years old, maybe?
And when was your guardianship, or shall I say, when did your apprenticeship begin?
Same year.
An interesting coincidence, wouldn't you say?
I suppose.
But that brings me to a more important question. I believe I've already asked it. Why are you here? And yes, you said your master sent you here. I doubt it was without purpose.
I'm here for the same reason as anybody else. I don't see much point in asking me that. We're all here for the same reason.
To win the heart of a star.
Yes.
How often have you spoken to Essie directly?
He blushes at that and just looks at his hands in his lap. I never said I was good at this.
Even if not, one would think that you would have the drive to try.
I've been preoccupied.
Oh? Do tell.
I've been making friends. I'm sure you've seen me with, Mr. Oleander. I've been assisting him with research.
I see. So perhaps it is not the star that you are trying to win the heart of. Is that it?
It really does sound hopeless when you put it like that. I know that I'm not good at this. I've barely talked to people my whole life, and now I'm just thrown into all of this, and I didn't know what to expect. It was just nice to have a friendly face, I suppose.
Interesting that you would find a friendly face among someone who seems so abnormal.
Kind of wrinkles his brows at that, and his nose kind of crinkles. I won't tolerate a harsh word against Mr. Oleander, Miss Stalwix. He's been a good friend to me.
I wonder how much of a friend he truly is.
What do you mean?
Do you know of his occupation?
He's an archaeologist.
Is that all you know?
You saying there is something else?
He's an archaeologist. Do you know of his reputation among his peers?
I know that there are some who distrust him.
Do you know why?
I suppose the subject of his research. People don't like it. They're uncomfortable with it.
He researches something uncomfortable, and perhaps the darkest moments of history as we see them now. And it is rather odd that he would do things such as, say, publish several works without any source, at least none listed.
He wouldn't lie about his research, if that's what you're implying.
You're an alchemist. Surely you understand that research without source is tantamount to telling stories. Yes?
Make a persuasion check.
I'm good at those.
Ooh, 23. You see that furrowed brow of his loosen a little bit as his attempts at a stern expression seem more melancholy. I mean, I don't think he would just make things up. I mean, he's a very smart gentleman.
Are you saying that those who are smart are unable to twist things, bend the truth, maybe even see things in a biased light?
Miss Stalwix, have you come here just to besmirch my friends?
No. I have come here in order to gather answers to questions that I have had for a little bit now, as well as to ensure that you yourself are acting under an informed light.
So I'm supposed to believe you're doing this for my own good.
No. I assure you, I am doing this in order to fulfill my curiosities. But information is always useful. Favors granted are always useful.
Well, I don't think I have any sort of information that you would find valuable.
You've already given me valuable information, Damus, though I would ask for a little more. Your master, a great sage known in history at this point, disappears, thought dead for how many years? Secretly raises an apprentice, sends them to fetch the heart of a star, and has that as their big coming back debut. No fanfare, just a footnote in supposedly someone else's story. It doesn't make much sense, really, does it?
My master has always valued his privacy. He lives a very quiet life and granted me a very sheltered upbringing.
I shall be a bit more blunt, then. Are you sure that the one you call master is such a sage?
Roll an insight check.
Oh. I have advantage on that, don't I?
You do.
Yeah. Well, 17.
17. Damus is by nature a man of nerves. He's just like his natural state of being is just nervous. However, when you imply that his master is not who he says he is, his face pales. And those hands, fidgeting hands in his lap, lock into each other. Of course he is. I mean, he raised me. He's the most talented person who could ever train me.
So you could surely give some sort of proof of his workings recently?
I mean,
Some sort of evidence that he is, in fact, who he and you purport that he is?
I mean, I wouldn't have such proof on me. As I said, he values his privacy. He doesn't want people to know where he is. Rather defeats
Or
the
what
purpose
he's-
of being a hermit.
Or what he's done, or...
Done.
How long have you been apprenticed under him now?
10 years and a few.
And I assure you, I do not mean to besmirch your skills, but one would think that the apprentice, having gone so far as to have been adopted by such a renowned person of talent and knowledge, I'm curious as to why I have not heard of your name till now, even if you are living in secrecy. Plying the craft of alchemy in a dark basement, I'm sure that there were purposes to your work, something that you could show that is the efforts of your learning and your tutelage.
I mean, if you want me to make you something, I could certainly do that if that would make you happy. Provide testament to my skills, my learnings.
That would likely be a help, but still, it would be useful evidence, but...
Evidence.
Indeed. Evidence that your master is who they say they are. Because frankly, I find it odd. Even if you are to believe with all your heart that he is who he says he is, and you have simply been sent here to win the heart of a star, I can't imagine that that's all there is to it. I can't imagine that there isn't some ulterior motive or some secondary thing that you are here to do.
Miss Stalwix, if I could be so bold as to say, given your own profession and the people you talk to, I believe that you are used to people who have ulterior motives and who lie to you.
I am. Though, Damus, do you know what my job is in regards to those people?
I do not.
I am the one who is sent when those motives get too muddled. I am the one sent to tease out their motivations and goals.
An interrogator, then.
Nothing so... medieval. No. I'm an auditor. I make sure that things are on the up and up, that everybody is trying to get what they say they are and getting what they say they are.
Which means that someone sent you, then.
look at that document that I have given you. Do you notice anything that would be strange for a legal document?
Names are missing.
And why would that be?
I don't know. I guess. A takes a deep breath, and there's an air of resignation about him. I guess someone was trying to hide something.
And who seems the most likely culprit to want to hide something?
The recipient, I imagine.
And so do you understand why I ask these questions?
Yes, I suppose.
So once again, I ask, why are you here? What does your master want you to accomplish here? Immortality? A new reagent for alchemical study? Connections in order to serve your life better in the future?
Make another persuasion check for me, please.
Okay. 13.
13. He wants the same thing as anybody. He's an old man. Old men are afraid. I don't know what else to tell you.
If he were here seeking immortality, I would think that he would be the one here. So why are you here?
As I said, he values his privacy. He doesn't like being around other people. He did his time in the palace, and he never wanted to go back.
I wonder, though. It would seem that in this competition we are to compete for Essie's affections, and that is what will be the method of granting immortality, or some such. Are such affections transferable? I was not to believe they were. And by you being here, he has lost his privacy regardless. A rather strange situation, wouldn't you say?
Whether it's strange or not, those were his commands.
Those were his commands. I am curious as to how he got you the invitation. After all, it seems to have come from a rather important place.
Yes, well, he has friends in high places. And
Royal places.
yes, as I said, he used to work in the palace. His name is not forgotten there.
And he goes so far as to send his young apprentice to seek immortality for him with a recommendation, with strings pulled from high places, even higher places yet willing to accept those recommendations.
As you say.
And how will he react when you return not with a person bearing life-giving immortality, and instead an archaeologist of questionable repute?
The color drains from his face even more. He won't be too pleased.
I can imagine he wouldn't be. Well, she stands up, holds out her hand for the paper.
He'll hand it
I
back
don't
to
believe
you.
I don't believe I have any further questions for you at the moment, though, Damus, I would very much love to talk some more in the future.
I'm sure you would, Miss Stalwix.
I shall leave you to think about the situation you are in.
Good night, Miss Stalwix.
Good night, little alchemist. Don't get too desperate now. She leaves.
Oh, diabolical. Diabolical. Thank you, Ares.
Hee hee.
Hee hee.
Thank you.
Moving on to another scene. The same evening, Topaz, you wanted to reconnect with Gwyn
I did.
for a little chit chat.
Just a little chitty chatty.
Yeah. How set the scene for me, if you will.
Quite simply, I imagine it's like 8 or 8:30 at night. And so Topaz has just been kind of like looking and rereading Gwyn's letter from earlier in the day. And it's just like, just sighs before getting up and going and heading to Gwyn's room to confront the men directly. And so walk up to Gwyn's door and just give it a firm 3 knocks. Just a little.
What time of day would this be?
8:30.
8:30. So Gwyn would probably be in his like nightgown as he'll open the door and say, Topaz, I didn't. Pardon my appearance. I wasn't expecting visitors so late. Do you need to come in?
It's not exactly as simple as that, but if you're offering, I think I don't want to have you parading around the estate in your nightwear.
I'm sure many would appreciate the sight, but please come in.
Not about to do that to you. As he walks into the room. May I ask, what do I see?
Honestly, the he has not messed around too much. Like, I'd imagine it would be like Topaz and Lapis's room, but like the day they arrived. Everything is still fairly put together, and all of Gwyn's stuff is still in its luggage. Like, he very clearly just opens to take things out and put things back in. He has not made use of many things in the room.
Gotcha.
There are silk. I will note that one more thing is that you notice that his bed has softer, silker sheets, most likely by request.
Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine just takes a quick look about, can't help the curiosity. And it's just like, you're quite organized compared to myself. If you pardon me noticing.
Well, I didn't intend for my stay here to be a long one. Still,
Fair enough.
it's good to note that you are making this place feel like home, at least.
It's less so about that, but more so I have so many outfits and I have supplies and other things to be able to work on the go. Never know an inspiration will hit you and such.
I see. Packing to deal with any situation.
You could say that. You make it sound like it's going off to war or something.
Love is a battlefield, as they say, Topaz.
I hate you.
You set that up. You set that up.
I did.
Absolutely. That one was not on me. Yeah.
And Topaz will go and like sit down in a chair and just turn around and look over to him and just say, I never did get to respond into your letter, and I suppose I've been thinking it over for a while. So the best place would be to come and talk to you directly.
Well, you have the moment. Please take it.
I know, at least as you insinuated, that your alliance with Wild was one of simply desiring to win the competition at all costs. That much I can surmise, given what I know about the both of you. I suppose it's strange to make it about me. But I was surprised. Not by your pairing, but by your actions. That you and him both would be so willing to avoid hurting me at all costs. I'm not just some piece of glass that would shatter at a moment's notice. I can fight. And yet, both of you treated me like I was some, well, pardon my allegory, but some precious gem that could not be shattered at any risk. And I guess I wanted to know why, at least from you, why that is so.
I see. If I may be so bold as to be vulnerable with you, Topaz, on the battlefield, it suits one best to acknowledge one's weaknesses and one's strengths. I have an eye for people. I understand my recent showing in the trial may tell otherwise, but I am unremarkable individually. But I garnered my strength through others, and that is a two-edged blade I wouldn't go as far as to say I would never point my blade at you, but as much as I try to fight it, in a perfect world, I wouldn't have to hurt people. That caught my interest. Although I wasn't expecting Scalm to go so far as disarm you to such an extent.
You mean wild? Just double checking.
Wild, excuse me, sorry.
I was like, wait a minute.
Nah, Scalm wants the opposite. Scalm
Yeah.
wants hands. Yeah, excusey.
You're good.
Yeah. I hadn't expected as such from him.
Am I really so dear to you that you'd avoid hurting me at all costs? You seems to be so quick to put on a strong face and claim it's all for your grand ambitions, but would still put a stop to all that ruthlessness in the presence of a pretty face?
Well, who said I'd put a stop to the ruthlessness? One could say the way that match ended was quite cruel.
Not wrong. I did feel quite humiliated, thank you very much.
You can blame Scalm for his magic there, not me.
Oh,
Wild, holy shit, I am slipping up a lot. I'm sorry, I'm still
You're good.
recovering from the flu, you guys.
you're good,
You can blame Wild as such. But I had the strength and the vision to ensure an outcome befitting of myself. If I could not achieve such an outcome, I believe things would have played differently. Asking Wild to be my partner was a Hail Mary, I'd say.
If I may go back to the contents of your letter. You seem to be the kind of person to... Well, you said you admired my drive, the instinct to push further, I believe I'm recounting correctly. If you think me so ambitious, then tell me, Gwyn, what is it that you think I'm really after here in Hollow Light?
Well, initially I assumed you were aiming for fame and glory, but now you've got me second-guessing with this statement.
Hmm?
Are you
Please?
perhaps in pursuit of the star yourself?
If you're asking if I'm in pursuit of Essie, I assure you that my conversations with him have been purely on a friendly basis. Find that to be the right way to at least get started.
Oh,
Friendship, then more, if that were to be the case.
get started.
Maybe a bit of a slip of the tongue there, but
No, I appreciated the candidness. Essie himself was the same way with me.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. He made it very clear that he himself had his own goals, his own ambitions. Honestly, quite in contrast or against those of the candidates here, making the goal of having him fall in love with any one of us truly a challenge.
What would you do with the wish? Or with immortality, I should say.
Well, immortality to me is a secondary bonus.
A secondary bonus, first being Essie?
It's debatable, but you do know what happens to the one that gets the star, right?
Well,
What?
they get to live forever.
Do I seem the type who's afraid of aging?
No, but you do seem the type that wants as long as possible to be able to get what they're after.
I want a kingdom, Topaz.
Mhm.
Getting the stars, but one more stepping stone.
Taken after old Cornelius, eh?
No. I aim higher than where the kingdom currently resides. I want a throne in the heavens, Topaz.
Hmm.
When you were a child, where did your eyes often go? What always caught your attention?
May not be anything unusual, but gems.
Hmm.
I didn't look to the stars. I looked down. That was the family way. Going into the mines, finding pretty rocks. That was my stars. Except instead of just being bright, they shone with a rainbow of colors. And ever since then, all I've wanted was to be that rainbow, to shine like the gems that inspired me.
I see. You see value in what's around you, and you wish to match it, its luster, its glow. You're well past that point, I'm afraid, but
You
ever
always
since
rephrase my words to make it sound like I've got some lofty ambitions.
I told you that's what caught my attention from you, after all.
I don't have lofty ambitions.
Please, you think anyone truly ever is content with where they are, Topaz? Once you achieve the fame and glory here, once your dresses are worn by those around, do you seek to simply stop there, or return to your dearest father and show him what you can do?
I assure you, as soon as I can leave my father behind for good, I probably would. But I don't. Once I've achieved success, as you put it, I think the most important thing to me would just be see the world, see beyond the wall, and just live life to the fullest. And whether or not I'm immortal is kind of irrelevant. I want to be entertained. I want to be loved. I want to see those sights that make my heart flutter, both people and places. That's what I want. It's not some lofty ambition, it's just happiness.
That
That's my dream.
desire, oh, that desire too can be seen as a form of discontent. Hope you realize.
Fair enough. I mean, I haven't lived the happiest life. But I do have desires to see more. It's just that, well, I think if you're doing it alongside someone you love, whether platonically or romantically, that's true happiness.
Mm. I knew many a soldier who could say the same. But I for the life of me could not get that visage out of my mind. I was a mud-trotted child once, playing in the dirt amidst the downtrodden villages of the Wishborn Kingdom. And the sight of the gleaming castle, the stars twinkling around it, the way it danced in the night sky. I've known I've wanted it, Topaz. And I will have it. And I will sit on a throne higher than the sky itself.
She kind of looks at you for a bit, just listening to you postulate your ambitions, just with a little smile on their face. You know, Gwyn, I do fancy you. You know that, though, I'm sure. But I don't think I could ever compete for your one true love.
You think the castle has only one throne in it? A ruler can have as many as he or she would like. Or they, for that matter. But love at the moment has no. Love throughout my life has proven a deadly distraction. Topaz, I'm afraid.
Then am I just a distraction to you, Sir Gwyn?
No. You're a reminder that some dreams are at times more tempting than others.
Mhm.
I've finally garnered the strength to jump off the branches once more, Topaz. I would like to see how I fly before I fall. Once more.
Mm. I understand. I'll put them away then. Just looks at you continuously with that soft smile.
No. If is a dangerous thought to have.
And you also must know that there are other men here that I like and fancy.
We're in a manor containing the finest this kingdom has to offer. I'd be a fool to think otherwise. And likewise with you, you'd be a fool to forget there are many who, even before the trials, sought my company.
Mm. Oh, Gwyn. I'll be watching you. And she sort of stands up. I hope your ambitions come to fruition.
When they do, I hope to give you far grander a view than I had when I was a child.
Darling, I have grand views. I was born with them. Show me more. And they'll head to the door and get ready to leave unless Gwyn says something else.
Damn, hold on. Now you got me thinking. Shit, now you got me thinking. Gwyn is going to stop Topaz and grab them by the shoulder for a second.
They'll turn around.
Those gloves I gave you, that ambition you hold. I know you seek to do away with your father as soon as you desire, but him and Wild could both use a reminder that you're not quite so helpless.
Hmm.
That's all. You seem kind of like hesitate when he tried to grab you there and everything, but he'll let go and let you head on off.
Topaz will kind of just surprised to be grabbed like that. Just turn around and look at him. I appreciate your concern. And I'm sure I'll show you just how strong I can be.
He'll nod.
She'll walk out.
Mhm.
Monologue.
Ooh. On monologue
Alright.
token on Gwyn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Amazing,
wild.
amazing. Give it.
All right, shit. Give me a second to think. I'm still head's still a little dizzy. Oh,
It doesn't have to be like a scripted monologue. It can just be your
no,
innermost
what
feelings.
would
Yeah.
I thought that I was always scared of other people's dreams, and I thought living through that fear once would give me the strength to resist it again, but Topaz, they're too dangerous. As his mind kind of like lingers back, and like there's the silhouette of Skalm in his head.
Mm.
No, and then he thinks back to Essie and what they talked about. I can't falter for a moment. And yeah, that's all I got.
Oh man. Oh man, you guys. All right. Topaz, you leave Gwyn's room. And as you sort of round the corner, you bump into someone. Neither of you really paying attention, both lost into your own thoughts, but as you collect yourself, you realize that you checked shoulders with Damus. Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me.
No, it's
Stoneheart.
It's all right, Damus. I don't believe we've spoken.
No, I don't think we have. And he sort of looks over your shoulder and clocks which door you just came from, but doesn't say anything. Out and about tonight?
Are you always this articulate, Damus?
No, no.
Because I consider myself to not be the most articulate sometimes, but this is...
I just, I was just going for a nighttime stroll, clear my head, you know?
Oh, I understand.
Would you care to join me? And you can see, like, he doesn't know what to say in this situation, but, like, as soon as the words leave his mouth, he kind of regrets speaking them.
Oh, I wouldn't say no to a fine gentleman taking my hand.
Right. I guess we can walk around. Do I have to take your hand, though?
No, you don't have to take my hand.
Okay.
You're something else, aren't you?
I've been kind of hearing that a lot recently.
I mean, you're just this quiet little boy. And yet, you see...
I am a fully grown man.
How old are you?
I'm
You seem to have the demeanor of a mouse.
a mouse.
Mm.
I'm 24 years old.
Oh, you're older than me. Incredible. Just by 1 year.
Um,
You're not very comfortable here, are you?
no, no, I'm not. I've never really been out in society before, and, well, this is kind of the deep end.
You're telling me. It took a while to get acclimated here as well.
I don't know, you seem to be doing okay for yourself. I mean, you did well in both the first two trials, and everyone sees you talking to everybody, like Miss Stalwix and Sir Gwyn, and even, you know, the prince. I mean, I'd say you're doing quite all right, if you ask me.
And you know how I'm handling that? Just talking to him. As people would talk to another. I think I overheard that you were the apprentice of Cassian? You don't talk to him like this, do you?
Looks away real sheepishly, just,
Oh, darling, you're that inarticulate with a man you've lived with for your entire life.
well, I mean, it's not like I get a lot of practice talking.
He doesn't speak to you. How does he teach?
Well, of course he talks to me, but, I mean, there's not much to respond to. I mean,
Just instructions.
hmm.
Doesn't sound like a very good teacher then if he's not having a dialogue with a student.
No, he's an excellent instructor. He's taught me everything I know, and he always tells me that I show such promise.
Are you enjoying your time here?
No. Not
I
really.
appreciate the honesty.
I mean, there's been some good things. But,
Mm-hmm. What's the one good thing that's happened to you?
well, I like to think I've made a friend.
Oleander, I'd assume?
He nods.
What do you and him talk about, if I might ask?
Oh,
You seem to be awfully close.
he blushes at that. Just, no, I help him with his research.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing terribly interesting, just, book stuff.
Book stuff. There's that. You know, I feel like I've read a novel or something that I've heard that phrase used in a different way.
Oh?
You don't have to worry about it. You're a sweet man, Damus. You don't have to try it that. You don't have to try it nearly this hard.
Thank you, I think.
And he'll kind of just like take a second and just turn to face Damus. How's Damus's posture? Let me ask that question.
He kind of naturally has a slumped posture. It's almost like he's trying to make himself smaller, because he's quite tall. He's like tall and lanky. So he kind of shrinks
tall is he?
himself. I kind of put him at about like 6 feet tall.
Okay, so Topaz is slightly taller. Being a cow. And Topaz will just kind of take a look at him and just kind of quickly enter like fashion designer mode and just like quickly adjusts his posture to make sure that he's standing up 100% straight. Lifts his chin to make sure that it's directly like facing her at the most optimal level. And just say, confidence goes a long way, dear.
Confidence.
Confidence. Say it with confidence.
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 Oh, you're getting worse. Come on.
You're making me nervous, Mick Stoneheart.
No, look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. Oh, come on. I believe you can look me in the eyes for at least 5 seconds. I'm not that gorgeous.
Okay. How was that? He's got like these wide bug eyes at you.
Needs some work, if I'm being honest.
Okay, I'll work on that, I guess.
Say hello, my name is Damus.
Hello, my name is Damus.
You are hesitating so much. Hello, my name is Damus.
Hello, my name is Damus.
Your voice is shaking. Come on.
Hello, my name is Damus.
Better. We're getting better.
I just feel like I'm shouting.
Well, you kind of were shouting a little bit there. You're lacking a bit on the cadence.
I mean, you say that you're not good at this whole society thing, but, here you are instructing me.
I tend to say things that come to my mind, and I tend to be honest. And honesty seems to be on short supply here.
Yeah.
And sometimes the things that come to mind can end up hurting people, like I did with your friend. So, no. I'm not the best at these kinds of things. But I can at least present myself with confidence. And from what you've said, that seems to matter. You seem to believe I've got my shit together. And I promise you I don't.
More so than me, anyway.
Correct.
Oh.
More so than you. So, all I'm trying to get at is confidence and honesty and staying true to your heart goes a long way. Don't hesitate to say what you want and what you believe in. Don't let anyone bully you.
Stay true
Tell
to
the
my heart,
truth.
huh? If I could be so bold as to ask you a question, Mix Stoneheart.
It's not bold to ask a question. That's a part of conversation.
You are friendly acquaintances with, Miss Stalwix, correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
Do you find her utterly terrifying?
In a way. She likes to collect favors.
Favors?
And I don't know exactly what it is I owe her, but I know I owe her at least 4 favors.
I don't think that's a good thing, Mix Stoneheart.
It may not be, but here we are. Can't regret what's happened in the past.
Well,
I'll let you go.
thank you. I enjoyed our conversation.
Just do me a favor. Walk a little taller. Hesitate a little bit less. You'll be doing well in no time.
I'll do my best.
That's all you can do in the end. Just your best. That's okay, whatever that may be. Good night.
Good night. He'll walk down. Yeah, he'll walk the opposite direction of you down the hallway. All right. And with that, we will draw the curtain on this day. A new day begins, and first things first, we will address our reputation trackers. There's very little change here, but we'll go through it. Gwen, since you gained the positive ambitious reputation tag in the last session, you are now back to neutral. So there are no additional boons for you at this time. Everyone else, you didn't really make any sort of, public gestures or appearances. All of the conversations were quite private. So there's no movement upwards or downwards for the rest of you, and you may keep your boons from the last session. So for Topaz and Oleander, you both had advantage on persuasion checks. For Luella, you still have your advantage on insight checks. Luella still has the warm reputation tag, and I just want to note, Oleander, you spent your uncaring reputation tag, so you no longer have that, and people no longer view you as being uncaring, which is perhaps yet another burden off of your shoulders. And going down to rumors, just a reminder of the rumors that are at play currently. First and foremost, Dame Leonora is not actually the master of ceremonies, and someone else is pulling the strings behind the scenes. This is a scandal, therefore most everyone will believe this is true. Gwyn is rigging the trials, bending people to his will to make sure that he comes out on top. And then separately, by demonstrating his ability to humiliate his competition, people are questioning Gwen's honorable persona. Next we have Adora and Alto's lineage once again being called into question. People are debating if they have a claim to the throne at all. And then we have Luella. People are speculating that she has illegitimate children that were born out of wedlock, and she keeps them hidden from society in a countryside estate. Some speculate that Gwyn sired at least one of them during his rise to power. And then we have a couple of fading rumors that some people are still talking about, but it's kind of beginning to fade into the background a bit. First, Topaz is not really a Stoneheart, and then Parthenia attempted to rig the first trial by poisoning Oleander, and then Topaz and Gwyn seeming to be very friendly with one another. People are suspecting it's romantic in nature. And those are all of our rumors currently on the table. We now move to our epistolary phase, where you can write letters to each other in and out of the estate. As always, I will ask if anyone would like to volunteer to go first.
I shall.
Excellent. What you got, Oleander?
Okay, first off, he has a letter to Essie.
Okay.
And much like Topaz, he's going to hand deliver this because he is starting to think that maybe Dame Leonora might check all the mail that comes to Essie directly. So, like, goes through the servants. So he's gonna put this under the door, much like Topaz would. Dear Essie, I apologize for not picking up on your hints the other day. Hololight has admittedly put me out of my element. Normally I deal with single individuals in the game at a time, rarely alone as well. The trials have drained me as I have felt alone, and I did keep others away more out of my own safety. Is it safe to assume the darkness of the heavens is more your issue and less Topaz's? Considering what you said the other day, it's the only way to connect the constellations, as it were. I hate to admit this, but after being brought into this circle, I'm at a loss currently on what is causing the void, and I apologize, and apologies if I'm speaking around it, just in case. Being an archaeologist and historian does not mean I know enough about this Hold on. Being an archaeologist and a historian does mean I do know enough about the stars, as the stars are as much as a part of history as the Earth, at least in Wishborn. Even combining that with my foremost knowledge on witchcraft and its myriad facets, I am drawing blanks on this phenomena. I have theories, hypotheses, and a few prophecies from the past, but I don't own anything solid enough for comfort. That wasn't likely what you wanted to hear, but starting from the bottom has always made a good foundation for anything. And one can always dig for basements, if the need be. If you ever need to call upon me, feel free to do it any time. I'm sure we can figure out a subtle way of doing so, if you wish. And, out of my own curiosity, when and how did you learn I could have carved your heart out by now? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I'm more wondering how exactly that slipped. Sincerely, Oleander.
All right. You slip that under the door. You can hear a rustling of movement on the other side of the door, as presumably Essie is picking up the letter, opening it, reading it. You don't get an immediate response, though, like right away. But I will say once you return to your room after a few minutes, you will get a response from Essie. It seems he's taken a little bit of time to write out a letter in response to you. Saying something akin to, I'm making this up on the spot, so my language will not be perfect, but something akin to, "Dear Oleander, don't you know there's strength in numbers? Can I take this as confirmation that you are willing to join my inner circle of confidence? As for your own inquiry, well, I'm glad to see my bluff paid off. Now I know you have something of interest. We'll talk later, Essie."
I am stunned.
He fucking got your ass.
Oleander just kind of open mouth gapes at the letter and just after a little bit, after he recovers, he just kind of smirks. And he takes another piece of paper and he writes, "Consider me added to your guild. And what a smart play." And he won't make such a big deal. He'll just like, when he's passing by the door, going through the hallway later, he will just toss it under under his door. Oh, oh, I am. Wow.
Did you have any other letters to send, or just the one to Essie?
No, I have two more. The third one's short because
All
I
right.
knew I wrote too damn long. And we have the longest letter ever. Oh, hold on. I have to put this into 2 bits because I'm silly. Dear Father, I apologize if I worried you any more than I already am with my previous letter. Hate to say this, but I was experiencing a moment of weakness. I am fine now. There have been major changes, as you can tell from my reports. I should probably admit these have been mistakes on my part. But I don't think they are. I've been forced to keep up a front for the entirety of my time being here. It's likely due to drop at some point. I just wish I had done so in the near catastrophic way it had. On that note, I would like to write upon Gwyn. As revealed in my report, what he wants to accomplish with Essie is a perfect world. I can only harbor doubts for his intentions. As a story, when people speak of perfect worlds, it is rarely perfect for anyone. Sorry to ask this of you, but it's only a what-if situation, Father. If Gwyn wins the Trial of Hearts, all his attempts at a perfect world must be sabotaged. He must be put under an effective 24/7 watch. I do not want him dead, mind you. Making him wish he was dead is a different story. I could, honestly, be speaking out my ass, of course. I was quite shocked by the admission to the point I wasn't quite intent on questioning it. How I feel everything he has done so far is lining up with what he has told me. I feel like he hasn't revealed his entire hand of cards yet. However, I will only play risky if I can get away with it, as always. Speaking of SC, I have troubled myself over this last night. But I figure I should mention this to you before any of our intelligence agents did. I prefer if you kept this to yourself, Father, but I know this isn't going unobserved. King Cornelius and Queen Isolde have gone from the sky. I doubt it'll be long before any other astrologers will notice this. We have a limited amount of time before this becomes more common knowledge. I'm not asking for a quelling of the populace or anything, or for any knowledge from leaking out. Even with your skills in Mage Father, I doubt you could even prevent that. Too many people with too many eyes waiting for the next star to fall, waiting to pluck their own wish like an unripened fruit. Instead, I'll ask for something less beyond your means. Any information related to the stars in the sky we have, or any forbidden texts within our inventories, especially if they were forbidden within the past century and a half. I'm a bit too busy at Hall Light to go to the Royal City archives. I think more eyebrows than normal would be raised if I checked out forbidden text while the star is within my reach. Yeah, I know the situation probably could not get any worse, but I know Plague is nearby, and I presume you have at least 3 others within a mile radius that you haven't told me about. But I'm feeling I have gathered my own little guild. I feel I can handle this better now. Sincerely, Oleander.
All right. You write that missive to your father. It is sent out. Since he is off the estate grounds, you'll receive a response at the next epistolary phase.
Sorry for calling out a hit on of eternal torture on Gwyn.
You know,
I-
you're all playing the game, baby.
If it's what your character do, it's what your character would do. If anything comes of it, I will be milking this.
All right.
And my last letter, I apologize for having 3.
No, it's all right. What you got?
And for Prince Alto. Dear Prince Alto, I'd like to open this letter with an apology. When you and your sister first approached me, I'll admit I was a little brusque. Though with some of the cease and desist your research letters I received from the officials within the castle, I think some that escaped me as well. As a historian, I would like to know you better. It could be something on the record in a more official interview, or it could be something more casual at drinks and we get to know each other without any official bureaucratic nonsense. I'm not one for softball questions, though, so come prepared. We can meet in the lounge tonight, somewhere more to your liking. Of course, if you don't want to meet, that is all fine and dandy as well. Sincerely, Oleander.
All right, you send that off to Prince Alto, and it takes a little bit for a response to come. It's not particularly prompt, but later in the morning, you do receive a response from Prince Alto, saying something to the effect of, I'm not one to answer, common questions out of nowhere, but it seems that there's something on your mind, and I am intrigued. If you want to meet later tonight over drinks, we can talk.
Alright.
All right, that's everything from you, Oleander. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Excellent.
All right, so I have 2 letters today.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is to Lavinia. Dear Lavinia, for now I believe the circulating rumors to be a non-issue. They shall fade in time, baseless as the core of them are. And to relay to your charges. I assure you, little ones, it was I who fell. To do so is nothing to worry over. After all, you both have heard the stories of great heroes, the fall that comes before their greatest rise. There are many great foes to be found here, and they are worthy of their successes recognized. The greater the foe, the greater the hero that triumphs over them, my little darlings. Luella Stalwix.
Oh, delightful. All right, you write a letter to Lavinia and the kiddos. Anything else?
And then, one to Dame Leonora that is tucked under her office door as opposed to sent via the servants. Dear Dame Leonora, preliminary investigation has confirmed that Damus's master seems to truly be Cassian, at least so far as he believes. His apprenticeship seems to also coincide with guardianship. Seems that he was transferred in full to the sage's oversight. At least, so far as he believes, and so far as his master claims. Such connections would explain receiving such sponsorship to join this event. I'm somewhat skeptical of his true reasons for being here, though they are not entirely unbelievable. He has been sent to win the heart of the star, that Cassian may escape the end that awaits all with time. Luella Stalwix.
All right. You send that directly to Dame Leonora. Not receiving any kind of immediate response. As the morning continues, you'll get a little note card, hand-delivered, not by one of the servants, but by one of her fairy assistants, one of the little pixies sort of flitting about, hands you a little note card that simply says something to the effect of, good work, let me know if you find anything more.
Thumbs up.
All right. Topaz, what do you have?
Yeah, I have one letter, which I will copy and paste into our little chat. But my one letter is to Essie. Just, dear Essie, I was able to get through to Oleander, and he is actively working on looking into his notes and more to try and help us find some answers to the issues at hand. He was a touch pathetic compared to what I was expecting, and I wonder if something rattled him beforehand. I must also add, there's some things I cannot discuss via letter. Either way, I was hoping you could stop by my room after dinner to discuss. I want to make sure that we're alone with everything in mind. I will make sure that Lapis is otherwise occupied at Hololight as well, so don't worry about that. Topaz. P.S. I have a gift for you. Unrelated to the incident at hand, but I'm very excited to share it with you.
All right. I'm presuming you do your usual delivery method under the door. Shoot. All right.
Yep.
By the time that you get back in a few minutes afterwards, you receive a response from Essie delivered to you via the servants. And this response says, Dearest Topaz, thank you for your assistance in my most delicate problem. I'm glad you found the opportunity to converse with Mr. Oleander, though I must admit I'm surprised and concerned by the demeanor in which you found him. He doesn't seem the type to shrink from adversity. Perhaps the weight of his discovery, whatever it is troubling him, as he has hinted to me that he has stumbled upon something that frightens him. I also had a rather enlightening conversation with Sir Gwyn yesterday. I understand the two of you are friendly, and so I ask for your favor once again. With his connections in the capital and his considerable strength, I wonder if Sir Gwyn could be a worthwhile ally to our cause and investigation. If you are in agreement, I wonder if I could ask you to consider speaking to him on my behalf, delicately, to invite him to our inner circle. If he denies having spoken to me, as well he should, considering we spoke in confidence, give him this sign that you have my confidence as well. an endorsement of your character and my trust in you. I'd be happy to meet with you later, and I look forward to your gift. And as always, your company. Essie. And folded within the letter is a little cluster of peach blossoms.
Hmm. That's cute.
But you said that was your only letter?
Correct.
All right. Gwen, I believe you said you did not have any letters this round, correct?
I do not have any as... I mean, things happened, but I'll save those for next session now. That things
Cool.
have happened.
Cool.
I have
a
everything in my mailbox.
Yeah, I got a letter for you.
Hell yeah.
Not to worry. You receive a letter in very familiar black paper, golden lightning bolt seal. You open it up, and it says, "To the illustrious and indomitable Sir Gwyn. I wanted to write to you to inquire after your well-being in the aftermath of the second trial. You gave a hell of a performance, and, I must admit, I admire your tenacity and showmanship. You gave as good as you got, and I see that I was not wrong in placing my trust in you, if only for a day. I think, if you'll forgive the jest, that we are birds of a feather, you and I, equally ambitious and foolish. We spare those we are soft for, but are not afraid to demonstrate our ire at our foes. What a theatric scene at breakfast yesterday. Truly I did not expect such a rousing display before our fellow contenders, and for that, I must apologize for my previous misjudgment of your character. I didn't think you had it in you to stand up against the blue-blooded nobility. I had thought you content with your lofty position, and unwilling to make ripples in the calm pond that is the court. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you this, but they'll be coming for you. They've already attacked you with the only weapon they know how to wield against you. Their words. Tongues are wagging, sir, and they will aim to dismantle your reputation bit by bit, until there's little of the man you present to be left. I propose that you and I make a public appearance today, a sign of goodwill between us. They will not like the two of us mingling. I admit being associated with me will only continue to tarnish your name. However, fear often overcomes propriety. You saw how nervous our alliance made the other contestants. I know you won't like to owe me anything, so consider this a favor between friends. If anything, perhaps you could do with a friend. Faithfully, Captain Ignatius Wilde."
May I send a response? Just,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not super worthy, gonna sum it up as best as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your keen eye, Captain. I see your talent for finding people of interest extends far beyond your ship and crew. Regardless, I appreciate your offer and look forward to joining you. However, lest you forget, I have made, hopefully, friends with others in these halls. And should they wish to join us, I hope that bears no pressure or burden upon you. And I'll respond to that.
All right. I believe with that concludes our epistolary phase. We move on to the start of the morning. And Oleander, I believe you wanted to meet with Damus.
Oh yeah, I get to pick up all the pieces of this broken
Oh,
plate.
this poor shattered man. Yes.
This broken china shop of a man.
Yes, exactly.
Oleander is first going to go to the mess hall, the dining hall, whatever we're calling it. And he's going to pick up a thermos full of honey sweetened coffee and with a little bit of milk in it, and he's going to get two giant almond croissants with like cream and strawberries and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he is going to take those and go and knock on Damus's room with one of his hooves since his hands are full.
Uh-huh, yep. Yeah, Damus will open the door. I mean, again, this man is just the personification of nervousness, but even still, it looks like he doesn't look quite as bad as the morning of the first trial, where it quite literally looked like he did not sleep. But he looks a little haggard. But he kind of perks up at seeing you, and kind of rubs his eyes to make himself appear more awake. Good morning, Oleander.
I guess Oleander gives a smile and he's like, "Did you sleep last night?"
Oh, here and there. Please, come in.
Oleander will step in and he's like, I brought breakfast. You like sweets, right?
I do. Yes. Thank you.
And he'll hand him one of the plates. I don't normally eat a lot of sweets, but we're here. We're here, and it's nice to indulge. And he'll like also pour some coffee.
Hmm.
I was wondering if you could maybe give me a bit of a de-rust on my alchemy. It's been a bit since I've done any practicing myself, actually.
Oh, sure. I'd be happy to show you a thing or two. Although I will say my methods are a little unconventional, being a blood worker and all, but I'd be happy to demonstrate a few techniques here and there.
That's quite alright. I honestly, I'm. It gives it makes me happy to watch. It reminds me a lot of when my sister works.
He'll take one last bite of that almond croissant, and chewing with his mouth full, meanders over to that alchemy set that the two of you set up, the hand me down one from Lycaris, and he starts fussing around with some containers of herbs and ointments and oils, and ushers you over with a wave of his hand for you to come watch him as he's working. And he just kind of huffs a laugh, like, suddenly it seems everyone's interested in my work.
Did something happen?
Well, nothing happened exactly. Just I had a bit of an interesting conversation with Miss Stalwix last night.
Oleander raises an eyebrow at that. Does Oleander, before you continue, Deanne, does Oleander know whether or not, does he know Luella's, major, audit? Does Oleander know that Luella is an auditor? As, he had, any, documents or anything? Does Oleander know her from the criminal realm?
Yeah, give me a let's call this a history check. See how much you know about her.
Oh hell, I'm not on roll 20.
Uh-oh.
There it is.
Uh-oh.
There it is.
2 hours
Someone
into
had to
session.
Whoops. I swear, I know how to do things.
Oopsie poopsie. It's alright, one of us has to do this.
And you said history?
That's correct.
Oh, yay, I have a... I think... Is that +9? Oh, you know what,
Your
I'll
history checks are pretty wild, yeah. Oh, that's a nat 20. Alright. So from the criminal underworld side of things, no. There's really no dirt on Luella. She's known for doing things very much by the book. And however, you do know that her auditory skills are quite ruthless. Like, she is the type to leave no stone unturned. Very particular and proud of her work.
we've lost a few rogues to her, I see.
Probably.
Oleander kind of like nods and rather strange. He knows that he has already gotten hints that there is something off about Damus, but he knows also not to push it. Because that's something he's gonna say on his own time. So Oleander just kind of like rubs his shoulder and he like goes, "If you ever need me for something, I'm here."
Oh, I know that. It's... I mean, I know that you kind of, have a bit of a, how should I say, a reputation yourself, but...
Oh, did she say something about me?
A little. She kind of implied a few things that I didn't really care for, but I tried my best to stick up for you. I really did. And I didn't say anything either, about any of the things that we've talked about or researched or the things that you showed me. I swear.
Oleander nods and he smiles and is like, "I know my past. You're allowed to ask me about something if she said something, if she spoke something that turned you away."
Only that he kind of flushes a little bit, not in like that ooh-woo blushy kind of way, but just the heat of embarrassment. Just, only that she implied you're not always truthful.
I presume this must be in a way that's not related to my past and being a thief.
No, I didn't get the impression she knew about that.
To be fair, most don't. To many, I didn't exist before the age of 18. But if it's not me as a thief, then it's... Did she say something about me as a scholar, perchance?
Just kind of nods his head.
Oleander goes into like a laugh, like a totally like, "Oh, that's going to haunt me. The silliest thing ever has come to haunt me." College isn't nice to a person who's never done a thesis before. Or really any research. And Oleander just kind of smiles. I have had a few too many all-nighters. And so there have been some first editions that went out without a citation or two.
That's it?
That was back when I was younger. I was a little more stupid back then, and I think that's exactly when Parthenia began to bother me.
Oh. That's really it, then?
I mean, I try to make sure the first editions were stopped being printed, but there's still a more than significant amount that I'd like to admit is still out there. But from the second editions onward of those particular papers, I've made sure that everything is properly cited.
That's it's a relief. That's all that is. I'm so sorry that I ever doubted you. She made me think that there was a chance that that you weren't being honest to me. And I'm so sorry. There was a part of me that worried you might not be my friend.
Oleander kind of just smiles, looks to the side. Well then, she did her job. Oleander just kind of like looks to the side and is like, there's thoughts in his head, but none he's gonna say in front of Damus. But if there's anyone my father would probably have me worry about most here, it might be her. She might as well be a rogue for all she can do. She would make quite frankly, she works in the palace. She might as well be in the criminal underworld. Oleander just kind of sighs, but like looks to Damus with a smile, like very true genuine smile. That I'm not worried. I know there are secrets we all must keep, you know. And when time comes, there will be. You'll feel fine with sharing what you know with me, but that's not today. And Oleander will take a look at what they were making at the alchemy table, and he'll like lift it up and like just kind of like swirl around it. So I started my alchemy around when my father began to put me through thief training. And what's very interesting is that my father actually taught every thief not only how to make poison, but how to make antidotes.
Seems very useful. It seems your sister took to it more than most.
A little too well, I might add. There was the time she made a aerosol in the guild, and considering that the guild didn't have great ventilation, everyone was fine. A little bit of throw up, a light liver damage.
Oh,
But but yeah, my sister took to it very well, and due to her, a lot of us know a lot more about alchemy now. And that's why I kind of enjoy it. It reminds me of home a little.
I see. Well, I'm very glad you lived to tell the tale.
Oh, I have so many tales. My sister was a very lovely girl, very lovely woman, smartest person I have ever known.
Hmm.
Well, one of the smartest people, but she she was very go get 'em with the
Hmm.
poisons.
I
How did you get into alchemy?
Well, I developed a bit of a knack for it when I was young. I was good at identifying ingredients and their uses and potencies, and my master saw great potential in me and took me under his wing as his apprentice. I don't know much about poison or antidotes. He really only wanted me to learn healing magic, things that can potentially help people, heal them, make them better. But as I've mentioned to you before, my particular kind of magic, it's very give and take, so it's been a lot of unfortunate trial and error on behalf of my master's tutelage. Here, there's still one ingredient left in this potion, and he'll take that that antler dagger that he still has on his person that you let him borrow, and he'll make a small little cut on the pad of his palm and squeeze out a few droplets of his blood into the vial. And as you look closely, as the blood disperses into the liquid, you notice, probably because of what Lycurus told you, just a split second, that slight sparkle. And then it dissipates.
Can I notice if it's coming from his palm or the dagger?
Well, he's using your dagger.
Oh. Actually, yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's coming from him. Oleander is not gonna say anything. Again, he knows that's not his place. But he will let Damus finish the potion and like cork it. But as he like puts the potion back on the desk, Oleander is going to take his palm and goes, "Let me get this," and he reaches for presumably a medical kit that's somewhere within reach.
Yeah, Damus, by virtue of how his magic works, pretty much always has bandages nearby in arm's reach. So yes, you can definitely patch him up. And he'll just protest a little bit, like, no, it's all right. You don't have to worry. It'll heal back.
No, I I want to do this. And Oleander will disinfect the wound first and then go about wrapping. And while he has Damus in his hold, he doesn't even look. I mean, he gives a light look up when he asks the question. So, when I invited you to my room the other day, and we talked about the daggers, when I locked the door, you were blushing.
Yes?
May I ask why that was? And Oleander just has this creeping smirk.
This man is beat red, like, just in an instant. Just, well, I think that anyone might make assumptions when they receive an invitation to someone's room. I mean, not that I didn't want to make any assumptions that would dishonor your integrity or anything, your virtue or anything like that. I just
Oleander is just kind of like lightly giggling as he's not pulling the arm closer to him, but that he is like bringing it like closer to his body. So did you want to do things?
I will admit I never really thought about it before, until I met you.
With that, Oleander does blush a little himself, and he finishes up the bandage with a tight bow, and there's like his ears kind of like droop, but not in like a sad way, but kind of like, can ears droop seductively?
Sure they can. Sure they can.
He levels his eyes and looks up at Damus and goes, "Do you want to kiss me?"
He is looking at like all directions other than you, as his mind is clearly spinning. His face, if possible, is getting redder by the second. And then a little part of him just remembers, stand straight, have confidence. And he does. He stands a little straighter and he goes, yes?
Oleander kind of like goes open mouth at that, and he's like, "Something happened to you, but it might have been for the better." And he kind of like, it stands fully up, and he takes Damus's chin in his hand, and he asks, "Do you know how to kiss?"
He shakes his head.
Open up your mouth. Well, hold on. Let me rephrase that.
Oh!
Let me rephrase that. That was not canon.
Tongue on the first kiss. Tongue on the first kiss. Let's go.
Guys!
Hey, Gex is real.
Part your lips as if you're awaiting a glass.
Okay.
And then drink. And Oleander closes the gap between their lips.
Yo! Oh my goodness. And there's a bit of hesitation at first because he doesn't know what to expect, but this man just melts in your grip and he kisses you back, and just, it's remarkably chaste because this is someone with no romantic experience, but you can tell as the longer that you hold him and the kiss continues, there is such an air of peace about Damus. And for the first time, probably since you've ever known him, the nerves are gone. And he just trusts you completely in this moment.
I think we can just stop there. I don't know how to top that.
Oh, the boys be smooching. The boys be smooching. Y'all talk alchemy and you keep making out, and it's a great morning. We will move on. We're gonna go to breakfast. And as breakfast continues, people are filling the room, they're eating, they're talking, meandering. Each of you notice that something's being set up on the lawn. There is, a hustle and bustle of servants and staff, Dame Leonora directing people outside, and you can see that she's setting up tables and chairs outside. She's setting up what appear to be picnic blankets, large swaths of food and drink outside, and it looks like as she's setting up, you each can assume that, granted, this is probably the first sign of spring that you've had since arriving at Hollow Light. The air is a little warmer, it's a little crisper, you've got some blue sky, the flowers are starting to poke out of the soil, and it's a lovely day. So it looks like Dame Leonora is starting to set up an afternoon of picnicking for each of you, for all of her guests. Some people are sort of talking amongst themselves about it. They're like, oh, what a nice gesture. It's such a beautiful day. I'm looking forward to spending more time outside. Whereas others who are a little more cynical, particularly with the rumors going around about Dame Leonora, they're like, oh, look at what she's doing now, just trying to garner a scrap of favor once again. But that will be ready for you all this afternoon. In the meantime, we've got breakfast. Oleander, I presume you're still making out with Damus back in his room, but you're welcome to emerge at any point should you wish. But anyone else? Is there anything you would like to do?
Would this be the meal that Wild requested that we sit together at, or was Wild just suggesting eating together in general?
Eating together in general. It could be breakfast if you want. That's perfectly fine.
Alright, is anyone sitting at Essie's table already?
At the moment, no.
Alright, it's time to make the winner's circle clear. Gwyn is gonna... I assume there's more than one seat by Essie, but yeah, Gwyn's gonna take one, and if anyone comes in, he'll nod and sort of imply that they could come join them.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah. Make it clear to these has-beens who's really in line to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Essie's gonna have this smirk on his face, just... My good morning, Sir Gwyn.
Good morning, Essie. Hope you do not mind the hopefully ever-growing company this morning.
Not at all. You are the first to approach my table today.
Well, I figure people are enjoying a day of sleeping in, perhaps. Are you interested at all in what the Dame Leonora is having set up outside?
I will admit I'm looking forward to enjoying a day of fresh air. I've been... feeling a little cooped up.
Are you normally not allowed to traverse the halls and fields as you please?
I can. I do have to let my guardian know where I am at all times, though.
Well, by all means, if you require someone to abscond away with you on other days to the fields, I will be more than available. After all, Dame Leonora did entrust you to me that very first night.
True. Funny. You're not the first to offer his services in absconding me for an afternoon.
I take it I have quite the competition. Hopefully they'll be joining us this morning.
I'm sure he will. After all, he was your ally.
This is aiming to be a awakening breakfast.
If I may,
Yes.
Yeah.
I like to think Topaz enters the room just dressed very modestly, but, still nice. Just considering it's only the morning. And sees Essie and Gwyn sharing a table. And Topaz just kind of looks at Essie and gives not like a what's going on here, it's just like, am I no longer needed to get Gwyn on the side? And so, but we'll walk over to sit beside the two of them at the very least.
Good morning, Stoneheart.
Good morning to you as well, Essie, and good morning to you, Gwyn.
Good morning, Topaz.
It's a nice change of pace to be able to just sit amongst company that you find desirable without fear of prying eyes.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
not quite so free of prying eyes. Until sort of subtly gesture with his eyes about the room as people are definitely taking notice of the two of you talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
I take it it's less the eye's presence and more the lack of presence in your mind, Topaz. After all, there's little that they do that could matter at this point to any of us.
So confident.
Well, to them. It seems Essie will have quite the entourage for breakfast this morning.
I can excuse myself if you don't want me around.
Nonsense. No one said anything of the kind.
We'd like your company.
Oh, the both of you. Thank
Why
you.
not? After all, you two are such firm friends, I take it?
Indeed. I was planning on getting a bit of reading done, but I'll wait until at least after things die down a bit.
Oh, and what do you read for pleasure?
Would it be too cliche to say romance?
Not at all. I think that suits you quite well.
If it helps to make it at least a little bit more interesting, it's romance from the human world. It's my current hyperfixation, I think you might say.
Really?
I've been reading a lot of it recently.
From
New
beyond the
one right
wall.
here.
From beyond the
And-
wall.
Oh, indeed. And they'll hold up their copy of Sense and Sensibility that they have with them. Just currently making my way through this one at the very least.
Are you familiar with foreign literature, Essie?
Not exactly. Difficult to read from such a distance.
You can see Topaz's eyes kind of gleam a little bit at that. Well, always new experiences to be had. It's one of the things that's so exciting about this place.
Who knows, Essie, after these dear trials, perhaps you could see what lies beyond the wall.
Yes. Perhaps. That would be quite the adventure.
Perhaps.
Well, not that I am overly eager to leave your company, but I'm afraid I must do my due diligence and share my attentions with others.
Should you grow tired of such obligations, do know that your seat here will remain free.
Duly noted. Thank you, Sir Gwyn. Enjoy your breakfast. He'll give you each a very polite curtsy and meander about the room talking to some other people.
Gwen's gonna continually eat his breakfast and just make nonchalant convo with Topaz unless Topaz has anything he wants to say. Perchance.
Great chance.
Perchance.
Yeah.
Topaz is just going to be like engaging in conversation, but their eyes are also in their book. And just they're probably like, you can tell they're at least like 2/3 of the way through the book and very much like enraptured by it. And just probably looks over to Gwyn's like, do you read often, Sir Gwyn?
It depends.
Beyond battle strategies and manuals?
I already presumed you meant for pleasure, and I particularly read books that I find strange or non-traditional, kinds you wouldn't find in libraries. Such as the foreign reading that you've got there, a strange book called the Kama Sutra when I was younger, How to Woo Ladies. That was a fun read.
Is that so? I would not have expected you to be reading such.
Well,
Such.
quite a few of my officers needed guidance, and I had to make sure they had something for when I wasn't around.
Ah. Of course. You must have a lot of experience then.
In some ways more than others, he says kind of regretfully.
Topaz is blushing pretty heavily at this point, just like, oh my god. Just Gwyn just being like casually at breakfast. Oh yeah, I've read all the books on sex. I know all about it.
Sex
Other funny
expert over
books,
here.
Yeah.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah, that's all I got.
You have such a brainworm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gwen's the type to get hyper fixated on a weird ass book for no fucking reason.
So, Gwyn, would you like to go back to my room and maybe explore under some different covers?
Uh-huh,
No, I'm in the mood.
uh-huh.
Thank you, Ares. But no.
Anyways.
It's right there.
I know.
Yeah.
Someone else is already exploring under other covers right now. We have to let them have their moment.
Anyways. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else to talk about unless you got something, Lily.
No. Just casual
Alright.
conversation.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else before we move on to the afternoon?
Nope.
Cool. All right. The morning passes. The setup for the day of picnicking concludes. And the afternoon is yours. There are, as I mentioned, picnicking blankets throughout the gardens, complete with baskets, chilled wine, trays of cakes, pastries, sandwiches. Tables and lawn chairs are set up, each with their own fine spreads of food. There's some lawn games throughout. The orchards are in bloom, starting to bear fruit. Flowers are budding in the gardens, and the hedge maze looks like a enticing place for a sprint or perhaps a secret conversation. Who's to say? But I know that there are some people who wish to converse amongst themselves. So, I think, I know Luella and Oleander wanted to talk. I know that this would also be a time for Gwyn and Wild to talk as well. I believe Luella and Topaz also wanted to chit-chat potentially, so I leave it up to you. Who wants to go first and seize the day?
Luella can hunt down Oleander.
Sounds like a plan.
Oleander will probably. Hold on, let me check something real fast. I need to see if oleander bushes bloom in spring. Hold on. As if Dame Leonore would have that in her garden. Hold on, I just want to.
Do it for the story. It doesn't matter if it's actually, like, realistic or there.
Exactly.
You know what? Yeah, Oleander will be will be examining like his namesake. If they're blooming, and he'll be like there, and he'll be like wearing very. Normally, he doesn't wear traditional attire, but with the shifting of seasons and this being a special event, he will definitely have put on the more appropriate spring wear that servitors wear when spring comes around for like festivals and stuff. Which I do not have any sort of thing in mind, but I just imagine it's like woven out of silken grasses and is very green and very pretty. and he'll probably have like separated from Damus for a little bit. Like Damus is somewhere on the within like not earshot but nearby.
I think Luella is wearing much her same stuff and probably walks up behind Oleander in order to catch him by surprise and Mr. Oleander.
Can I make a perception check on whether or not that will catch me off guard?
Yeah, make a perception, and Luella, make a stealth check. We'll see who beats each other.
Oh, no.
Oh, yep, she caught you way off guard. You were too busy thinking about smooching your boyfriend.
Oleander is definitely stalled, but he'll turn around with just like a little like shake of his body. It's like, well, it seems you're still showing off your stealth skills, Mistress Auditor. And he gives like a little smirk.
Stealth skills, I assure you I just walked up to say hello.
Hmm.
And perhaps strike up conversation if you would be so inclined.
Conversation. Sure. What would you like to converse about?
Oh, this and that. I'm curious about a few things and want to learn more about you, Oleander.
Learn about me or learn about someone adjacent to me?
This and that.
Hmm. This,
After all,
that.
we often talk about our friends in conversation, do we not?
We do. But there's a difference between a conversation and an audit.
For what purpose would I have to audit you? Unless you have been up to some less than acceptable contractual practices lately.
Hmm. I assure you, not since you caught. Oh, I think you caught Ruby. Poor Ruby. But we've been more careful about you.
Very interesting.
I assure you, I've been a very good boy.
Have you? Reputation would suggest otherwise, but reputation does tend to be exaggerated.
Hmm. Just like those rumors about, I don't know, fledglings, was it?
Indeed. People have the strangest of inklings. After all, I would think that after the most recent trial, if anything, it would have been obvious that I had not had any sort of spat of that nature with Gwyn.
There seems to
But,
be a lot of... Continue.
but idle minds have little to do but make up fantastical things, don't they?
Hmm. And I can't say either of us are quite idle.
Seemingly not. What do you seek here?
Oh, you're just asking me?
Why would I not?
I'm not here for immortality. That disgusts me on a fundamental level. I'm mired in death, both in my previous business and my current. But let's just say destiny has coincided to bring me here. And I'm here to solve a few of these mysteries of the stars that have been flung about.
Oh, do tell what such mysteries flit about here.
Hmm. How about tit for tat? Why are you here for SC. You don't seem like a person who can do much with immortality. That seems like something would bore you.
An interesting notion. I'm here for reasons, I assure you. Immortality, an interesting concept. But perhaps, well, there are many reasons to be here, many things that one can gain from being in such company, and many things to see in such an uncommon event.
There's a little bit of a shift in Oleander. There's a coldness that comes into his eyes. I assume you didn't come here for just pure chit-chat. You know me and I know you. In few words, rumors. What is it that you really sought me out for?
I am not so cloak and dagger as to not ask what I want to know of you. I am curious why you are here. You have said you are not interested in immortality, that you are seemingly welcome to accept your time when it comes. And you have shown such ferocity in the past trial, and desperation in the first, that these things seem a bit contradictory.
If I'm here, might as well put on a show.
A show worth really risking your life for.
You act as if that poison would have killed me. I've drunken far worse for my sister. I think you know that.
Still willing to harm yourself for seemingly no gain.
I'm not one for not putting in my work when it's deemed necessary. If I am to stick around, I might as well put forth an effort to at least entertain.
Interesting. The archaeologist playing the jester this time. Well, purported.
Well, as you know, it's the jesters who are allowed to make fun of the king.
Perhaps I had an incorrect opinion of you, Mr. Oleander.
I seem to have shown that a lot. But I think we can skip all this dilly-dally, Mistress Auditor. Let's talk appraiser to auditor. What do you want from me? And what can you do for me in return for that?
Well, you still have, as of yet, to tell me exactly why you are here, other than schmoozing, having fun with perceptions of people. As for what I can give you, what would you ask of me for this information?
You're being rather generous. The only thing I wish to say is to solve 2 mysteries. One that I have found, and one that has been bequeathed upon me by the outside world. I feel like the answers are here.
And those
To
mysteries would be?
speak any more would be endangering myself and breaking the promises of others. So unfortunately, while I'm not oath-bound by any means or contract, I have no intentions of putting myself or others in the way of your pen.
Hmm. Then I guess I will have to find my answers some other place. She glances at Damus.
Oh, do be careful there.
Oh,
I don't think... Actually, no. Hold on, I'm like figuring out what to say. Oleander's smarter than me.
That is the curse of playing smart characters.
the pain, the
Oleander
suffering.
Oleander kind of gives a level look and is like, sure, you can drag that information out of him. But here's the thing. Who will believe you? And, honestly, what would you get from that information? I'm already considered probably one of the highest priority targets for the king and queen. If my father dies, I'm likely to fend for myself. If that is, if the guild won't take up for me. And here's the thing, it will. You are currently in, let's say, a limbo, Miss Stalwix. You can get that information, but whatever will you do with it? It's unbelievable. And on top of that, Damus doesn't know everything. Plus, and he's kind of like stalking around Luella at this point. It's full on hunter and prey right now. Oleander is kind of like looking up and down. Those rumors usually have a bit of truth to them, don't they, Miss Stalwix? As you know, especially since I have some second editions with correct citations floating about. What are those rumors about fledgling?
That you would go so far to make such threats. He truly must be important to you.
I don't take well to your audits, Miss Stalwix. But
Well,
would you agree we're at an impasse?
I would not.
Hmm.
After all, I do not seek to push you for that information, but I will be searching for it from whatever source I can, and in regards to your, I shall be a little blunt. Hot-headed threat? Yes? Oh, what was it that you said just a little bit ago? Tit for tat?
Hmm.
Hmm. So, I guess I shall for now leave you two to your day, though I would like Mr. Oleander to speak in a more relaxed setting sometime. After all,
Okay.
even if you can't divulge everything, you should know, given your position, information is always useful.
It's only useful if not everyone knows it.
And as of yet, do not know it, that would mean that it is most useful.
Hmm. Well then, I hope you don't mean more relaxed by having your poison at my throat.
I dare say that it would likely not work too well if I were to. Besides, it is just an idle hobby. Something fun to do on my days off.
I see. Well then, I don't think, unless you really want to try, what is it really you are seeking? You seem to be dancing about it. If it's something you'd get out of Damus, I figured you'd already got it by now. But no, you're seeking me. Why me specifically?
You should well know direct sources are by far the best sources.
Hmm. Have a little assignment about me?
Idle curiosities.
I wouldn't consider any of your curiosities idle, Miss Stalwix. I consider them dangerous. Dangerous
Dangerous
in
to
motion.
whom?
Anyone who gets in your way.
Perhaps. At least that might be the way that those who have gotten in my way would say it. I would say that I'm doing rather a service to them.
Service. Terrifying. But if you don't seem to be very intent on asking me directly what it is, I think we should part ways before anyone gets too suspicious.
I suspect people already have their suspicions. I know I do.
Hmm.
You two have your fun now. Also, while Oleander has been circling her, she hasn't looked at him once. But then she gives him just a short glance, a smile, a bow, and she casually walks away.
Oleander will not give any like validation to that. He will also just walk away.
All right. Conversation's done and seemingly at a impasse between these two forces of wit to be reckoned with. Gwen, if you're down for a little chit chat, I think This is a prime opportunity to make a very public appearance with one Captain Wild.
This is at the lunch table, right? Or at the outside lunch, right?
Yeah, outside at the picnic. Plenty of
Yeah.
eyes and ears.
Yeah, but by all means, Varys, I am always down for you, sir.
Excellent. So, Captain Wild is sort of meandering about. He's flitting from table to table, not really talking to anybody, just kind of grabbing, fruit in one hand, drink in another, making eye contact with people, taking great joy in seeing people shrink away from him. But once he notes your position, he will start to, not like beeline towards you, but he will start to make his way towards your position. Would you say that you're like on the lawn to like for the greatest vantage point?
I would say, barring like Essie or Topaz, Gwyn would probably be under like the nicest tree at the moment,
Sure.
with like flowing petals.
Sure.
Something that other people would be envious of.
Yeah, Wild will eventually make his way over to you. He's got 2 cups of wine in his hand. He will extend one to you and very casually just sit next to you under this blossoming tree. And he just gives you a smile. Captain.
Captain.
I was wondering if we might have that little chat.
By all means, Wild, chat away. I'm afraid I haven't had much on my mind as of late.
No? Nothing at all?
Well, I mean, outside of the goals of acquiring Essie and the trials, things that we can't exactly push freely at the moment, given Star's lack of appearance here. I am
course.
merely sitting by and watching the petals fall.
Of course. I did not take you for a man of such simple pleasures.
There comes a time when all must sheath their blades and partake in the world around them.
I suppose that is not the only thing I've gotten wrong about you, sir. I meant what I said in my last letter to you. I think I would... Oh dear, I think I find myself wanting to actually apologize to you. You see, I only ever knew the one side of you, Sir Gwyn. The rumors and the few scraps of stories that I can get from others. Admittedly, very few of which are favorable. I'm sure you can understand my antagonizing behaviors with such a limited viewpoint.
You're entirely fine, Captain Wild. A man such as yourself should be aware of the dangers of such rumors. You are not nearly as ruthless as all the reports made you out to see. And those are supposed to be more than just rumors.
You and I are the only ones that know that. And I'd rather keep it that way.
I plan on bringing none of this back to me to the capital, dear Wild.
Hmm.
Your secret shall remain safe with me, as well as how well the Stonehearts can keep it.
Huh. I... Hmm. What a pair of blowhards we both are. For all of our talk of doing anything for victory, neither one of us were able to deal that last blow. We had to take it out on each other instead.
Here's the thing, Wild. Everyone has weaknesses. They may not be as emotional as that moment, but they do. But unlike the others who sit in these fields, and hopefully like our comrades that we have made here, we are strong enough to achieve an outcome favorable to our weaknesses, not our strengths. Us winning in such a manner isn't simply because we were too weak to achieve the expected outcome. It was because we were strong enough to achieve the outcome we desired, that we willed.
That is quite idealist of you, sir. I know that there are others who would certainly disagree.
Then let
Opinion.
them.
You're not bothered?
To claim a wish to have my will enacted upon the world, I must have ideals. Any who claims the star without any longer goal beyond immortality, well, that would just be a waste, wouldn't you say? What would you do with that time? Not what would you prolong with it?
Indeed. Yes. It's not a matter of claiming it. Claiming it is just the beginning, isn't it?
A stepping stone for myself, and I imagine you. And surprisingly, Topaz may be eyeing such an ambition soon himself.
Is that so? You're quite privy to the thoughts of Mick Stoneheart, then.
I wouldn't quite need to be so privy if he wasn't so confident enough to share them herself.
I see. I am truly glad that they've been able to find such a trusted confidant in you, sir.
Well, it's not quite just myself. They seem to have found quite the comfort besides Essie.
Is that so?
Topaz has remained quite the black sheep during these trials and is currently paying him dividends. I hope in this upcoming trial he does nothing more to upset, well, my chances.
Perhaps you and I would be better off if we were to direct our attentions not towards each other, but at those under our noses.
What do you think I've been up to this entire time? Making friends. The camaraderie is nice, but even I'm more than aware that no amount of kindness I show them will ever truly earn my trust. Will ever truly earn their trust. So at the very least, I can keep them a little distracted. Oleander and the like seem focused on some secondary goal during these trials. of which I am not privy to. Should it interest you, his studies seem to be affiliated with the very star himself, so by all means.
Interesting. You share this information quite freely. I can only assume that means you would request something of me in turn.
For a poet to put it bluntly, or more prettily, the petals, they flow in a way that makes us all lose ourselves. I am merely drunk off the sights before us, and I'm appreciating a new friend.
A soldier and a wordsmith. Will the wonders never cease with you, Sir Gwyn?
I take it you yourself are quite well read, given the certain literature that Topaz has gotten hit their hands on.
I deliver certain gifts from time to time at their request, procuring items.
Well, when I've won the competition, perhaps you could offer such a gift to me.
Oh, he is right about you. Underneath that glowing facade, that brilliant smile, the pretty speeches, down to your core, you are ruthless. And you'll never let anyone forget it.
No more ruthless than a child clinging on to their toy. So wild.
Well, unfortunately, you might just have to learn to share.
That's a good cap point to that conversation.
Mm-hmm,
Kind of bars there, Maris.
Yes, he'll spend a couple lingering moments, drinking wine next to your side, looking very casual. People are definitely, clocking the two of you, chit-chatting in a very friendly way. And it seems that Wild's plan seems to be working.
Mm-hmm.
Yup. I think, I believe there was a conversation between Luella and Topaz, if I'm correct. Alright.
Just a mostly brief one. I don't have any major plot revelations to share or anything.
Yeah, a little chit-chat,
Mhm.
What are the girlies doing?
I imagine probably seeing the conversation between Oleander and Luella go on for a while. Topaz is just probably continuing their book, lounging on the in the sun, living their best life, and just kind of just like looking at it, and it's like, damn, they're still going. Uh, okay, but then as it disperses, we'll get up and proceed to go over to Luella and just say, would you mind taking a turn through the orchards with me, Lady Luella?
Oh, of course, Topaz. Please lead the way.
I assure you that I've got nothing quite so serious as what it seems you were talking to Oleander about.
Then I am
Just-
far more interested.
I simply wanted to just do a little catch up, considering I don't believe we've really talked since the conclusion of the last trial.
You would be right. I will say you did rather well.
Well, I do wish I was able to share a bit more of what I was capable of against the victors. but it seems they had other plans. Either way, are you recovering all right? You did take a nasty spill there.
I assure you, I am very, very well. I was taken care of promptly, and I have taken far worse a spill in my time than that.
Good to
And
hear.
you?
I fear that somehow I managed to find myself not taken much more than a scratch during the course of the competition, which almost dishonors me, I think. But I'm doing quite all right. As a whole, I would say.
Sometimes pride can hurt more than any bodily injury.
It was like that at least for the first few hours, I would think is fair to say. But it's all right. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too much to dwell upon.
A quick recovery, if I do say so myself. Also, I did not give you a proper thank you for your partnership during the competition.
It was my offer, so I feel I should be thanking you, in a way, for being my partner. For taking a chance on me.
I have seen what you can do. Do you think that I do not remember at least some of what happened during the first trial? You have proven yourself capable.
But I'm always the bridesmaid. I suppose that's at least a strong finish to show off with.
And there will be other opportunities.
Indeed. I do hope to succeed in the next one.
We shall see. I shall not go easy on you.
I would expect nothing less. You do seem to have that, or at least put on the visage of a cold and calculated killer, if that's what you want it to be.
Is there anybody who wants to be a cold and calculated killer?
I don't think anybody wants it. I just think that's what they've... Well, at least from what you've taught me, that seems to be like what people feel like they need to be in order to succeed in this little game we find ourselves playing.
Oh my, you are learning.
I would say that I am, but I'm still doing exactly what I would do. I'm just understanding the flow a bit better.
Don't worry, that cynicism will most assuredly thoroughly corrupt you by the time our event here ends.
Thoroughly corrupt me, that's a... It's still gonna be me. Nothing could compromise that.
We are always ourselves, even if ourselves tend to change.
What might I ask? Not to bring back all the way back around. What might I ask were you talking with Oleander about? Seemed to be an awfully intense conversation.
Just had a few questions. Gathering a little information, sating some curiosities that he didn't seem to take too kindly to.
You do tend to have... Go ahead.
Frankly, I don't see why he would be so offended at my questions. After all, I am nothing if not a kind and charitable person.
That also seems to have poison dipped, or their talons dipped in poison at all times.
I will assure you that there is no such thing. I, in fact, keep them rather quite clean.
More of a metaphor, but I understand.
She's giving you a very obvious smile. At least as obvious as a bird face can get.
Yeah.
It's only eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And how goes your exploits thus far?
They just kind of like give you they sit there or just continue walking beside you and just kind of just like go silent for a second and then just like give you a big like lazy shrug. Got no fucking idea. I like to think I'm making a few friends, but I somehow managed to find myself in the middle of lots of situations I did not exactly plan to be a part of.
Multiple people who, per the rumors, are becoming a little more than friends.
I assume you're talking about self and what? Or with Gwyn?
Let's see, there is Essie, there is Gwyn, there is a certain captain who is not of the guard. Just to name a few of the names flitting about.
Oh. Well,
Going for multiple targets is all well and good, but don't stretch yourself too thin.
I'm sure you're not stretching myself too thin.
Oh
I
my.
just. What you're insinuating does run in the family, after all.
But
You
I've
already knew
heard
that.
rumors of the size of the Stoneheart's family.
Absolutely. It's well known that Jasper Stoneheart has many wives and many, many children.
Seeking to take over the family name or reputation, then, hmm?
Absolutely not. I don't think I
Well,
could
you're
want
already at 3, and you could be going for more.
Don't you insinuate nothing more than that, Luella.
It couldn't be that you're going for me as well. I assure you I'm well outside of your age group.
Fair enough, fair enough. It's not what my intention was. Besides, my affections, if you can call them that, are still very much wide open.
Hmm.
I simply wish to get to know people.
I had heard that you had turned down many suitors.
That is true. I was more so focused on my work, not what any random person might think of me and want of me.
That I can understand.
A bit different when you're shoved into the deep end, as it's so we're here.
Well, rarely are we prepared for the things that life throws at us. You're handling it quite well, from what I would say.
Aside from the first night,
Hmm.
a learning experience.
Everyone has their trips and falls, some more literal, some more metaphorical.
There's the tip of venom on your words. Ugh, I'll never live that down, and I know it. If anything, it'll be a good story to tell.
I'll give you another little tip. When the
Does that
people of high society laugh at you, laugh with them.
Did I just randomly get assigned yet another favor I owe you?
Oh my, yes, it would seem you have.
Even though I wasn't asking for the advice?
Rarely do we receive things when asked for, oftentimes, so similar to this situation, it is sort of just plopped into your lap.
But the Fae are all about their formality. I wouldn't say that was quite so formal to just slip in a favor owed like that.
Verbal contracts are contracts all the same. Though if you would like written record, I do have the forms on me, and I believe a pen with, metaphorically, your name on it. Shouldn't take but a moment.
I think That is quite all right. Well, I understand the situation I'm in. And as with everyone else, and as with you, I just prefer to talk as people would talk. Wherever that gets me is where it gets me.
I will give you this one for free, Topaz. Favors owed are not always a bad thing. Sometimes it could lead you, again, to situations you never expected that can always turn out useful for you.
I owe you many favors, it seems, and yet somehow I still manage to find myself in better situations. So I
Amazing
see
how
the
that
wisdom
works,
in that.
isn't it?
I most certainly see the wisdom in it.
Though, don't go giving everyone a part of yourself that is owed, as some people are not. Those favors may grant you great things, but may also. Great things can be bad as well.
Pride cometh before the fall and all.
That is the phrase, isn't it?
Indeed. Somehow, though, I don't expect you to be backstabbing me with any of those. I could be wrong, but that at least is my judge of your character.
I would never stab you in the back. I assure you, if there's any stabbing, it will be directly into the front. Far more effective.
And I suppose that that goes along with what I always say, being more straightforward.
Have I ever been anything but?
Most certainly you have.
And here I thought I was being rather blunt.
Everyone can take a different meaning from the same words.
Another trapping of society.
I suppose so. Have a
I rather
pleasant day.
enjoy these talks.
That's good. Better than we started, I suppose.
I enjoyed those too. I believe I said as much. Anyway, I shall not keep you, as it seemed you were ready to go about your day.
Lots to do as always.
Always. Have a wonderful afternoon.
You as well, Lady Luella Stalwix.
Mixed Topaz Stoneheart.
And she'll do a bow and a curtsy and just excuse herself.
And Luella will continue on her way.
All right. With that, Gwen.
Yeah.
Yeah, after a little bit of mingling with Wild, he gets up, sort of makes himself scarce, bidding you farewell, a good rest of your afternoon. He's got other things to do, other people to see. Gives you a moment alone. Under your tree, petals falling, a very pleasant breeze, crisp and cool. You close your eyes a moment, you indulge in this moment of relative quiet. There's still, people around you talking. But suddenly, you notice the sun is blocked. A shadow looms over you. You open your eyes, and there stands the man you've been avoiding since his arrival. Skalm stands before you. And that usual frown that he has plastered onto his face. And for a moment, he just
Yep.
stares at you.
Gwyn stares back before sitting up proper and then standing. You know, a part of me was wondering how long it would take for you to bluntly show up like this.
But you knew I would.
Part of me always did, I suppose.
You always did know everything.
Clearly not well enough, seeing how we've both ended up.
Yeah. Looks like things turned out much differently for you than you and I ever thought.
Well, when a man gives away his strength, things get marginally harder for him.
Your strength. Just shakes his head. I don't know if you have any strength left.
I suppose you wouldn't. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I suppose you wouldn't, given how your new Houndmaster has you tied up with the collar.
And you
Still
were the
frustrated you.
and
go
you
ahead.
were the better.
Well, as far as either of us can tell, only one of us got to participate in a trial after all.
Kind of bristles visibly at that. Just participate. Yes, you did. But you, after everything, held back. You showed mercy to your foe. And even then, you didn't show your full strength. That is an insult to everything you and I ever fought for.
Mercy as an insult, then. Then pray tell, do remind me, which of us sought mercy at first to be released from the other's service, and then took it with their own hands?
I saw what I saw when you gained the recognition that you and I fought so hard for. As soon as you got it, the light left your eyes. You were a husk of the man that I once followed. You got just as fat and lazy as the rest of them. I still needed more. And I was right to leave, to carve my path forward. If you won't even show your full might to these people, I would have the satisfaction of a proper challenge. Let them see you. No distractions, no allies. Strength and resolve.
Gwyn has like this very frustrated look on his face, and then he catches himself and then he smirks. You know, despite ending up in essentially the same predicament you did all those years ago, I will say Wild has done wonders for your social skills. Was that an attempt to goad me into doing something that has no real benefit outside of your approval of my strength? Your approval that does not matter to me. Your right to pass such judgments was never there. You lost it the day you and each other person that followed me received my mercy to pursue your own dreams, to feel as though if I have made it. You act as though I grew fat and complacent when I saw the look in all of your eyes. I saw the weariness, the desire for rest, your own dreams tossed alongside my bonfire of dreams, seeking to reclaim them to acquire what little you all sought. And look what that led all of you. In this journey for strength again, here you are, leashed up like a dog once more, unable to swing your blade freely. You lost any right you had to even have words for my actions, to even understand a single thing that I do. The only interest I have now in you and your blade is if you will use it to put your own life at risk once more for my own goals. And I can see that's never happening. You were worth one lesson to me, and that was the acknowledgement of my weakness. You say I fail to show my own strength, but I show it each and every day outside of that battlefield. That continued acknowledgement of the strength of those around me, those who deserve better, those that I can truly use. And he'll wait for Scum to give a response.
He just shakes his head at that. Always with the speeches. So many words. Just to say that these people, the control they have of you, you care about their opinions, how they look at you, how they're looking at us now. You say I'm leashed. Maybe so. But I think you are too. You always said there was a kind of strength in playing the game. But what good is playing if these rich, self-righteous fuckers control who you are? So, if you won't meet me on equal footing, I guess we can play by their rules. And he just grimaces at that. But he slowly, finger by finger, takes off one of his leather gloves, throws it down at your feet. thus officially, by society's rules, challenging you to a duel.
I look around to see if Dame Leonora is in the vicinity.
She is. She's been keeping an eye on you.
Say, I think everyone's been keeping an eye on you.
Everyone's been looking at this.
Yeah, I would say if you, I know Topaz is watching this.
Even Luella would have stopped and started watching.
Mm-hmm.
You... Even after all this time, you never truly understood me. And Gwyn will still start drawing his rapiers.
Ooh. I think with that, we're gonna pause for the evening, and we will return to this duel in the next session.
Mm,
Oh,
Gotta leave a cliffhanger so that people come back to watch.
That's
next.
right,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. Next time on The Trial of Hearts, everybody. Oh,
Goddamn.
my friends, my players, thank you so much for a delightful evening of chaos, intrigue, and boy kissing. It was a fabulous time, and I thank you all so very much. I hope you all had fun. I hope everyone watching also had fun as well. We will resume this in 2 weeks' time. So that's going to be May 7th. Will be our next session. Our duel will commence. The third trial will be announced. And it's going to be a great time. Until next time, my friends, take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you then. Bye-bye!
bye.
bye!